To keep the program moving, to speak about our voice in the city, I'd like to invite the Immigrant Leadership Institute graduate to the stage, Ashayana.
My name is Shaima Ait. I'm born and raised in Cairo, Egypt. I was educated to be a scientist initially, but the social and political changes that happened in my country and our world turned me into an educator and a translator. I work as an ESL teacher out in West Philadelphia at a nonprofit organization called the African Family Health Organization. And through my personal experience as an immigrant, as well as working with immigrants and refugees from over 20 different countries, I came to think about the parallel of being an immigrant or coming from another country and trying to integrate here as trying to grow a plant that is not from here. If you bring a palm tree or a cactus from the desert and you try to grow it in a backyard in the Philadelphia winter, think about it. This plant will need more than just food and water to thrive and be the best it can be. Same thing goes for immigrants. People can't just survive with food and basic needs. They can't be chasing low-paying jobs for 20 and 30 years just so that they can afford food and shelter. In order for a plant from a very different environment to thrive in a totally new environment, it will also require a lot of love and care and warmth. Just like it goes for a plant, it would go for an immigrant. If you try to bring a fully grown adult who has a set of emotions and skills and experiences and maybe multiple languages, and you try to throw them in the middle of a totally new environment, you can't expect them to be coming out with results similar to somebody who's here in the comfort of their own home country, speaking their first language and being surrounded by all of their loved ones. I'm very grateful for all of the doors that were opened in front of me in Philadelphia in ways that were not the same in other parts of the US. I've been here for about 7 years, but I had to travel back to my country 3 times, back and forth. And I got my first paid jobs after 5 years of volunteering and interning and traveling all over here in Philadelphia. And just like I'm being recognized and I'm having all these doors open in front of me, I would also love to see more opportunities like that for immigrants who may not sound as fluent as I sound, and immigrants who may not have the same set of skills, or maybe have it, but they just haven't been able to share who they are truly and be themselves and convince employers and convince the larger society to respect them for who they are. I would also love to see more hospitals and government offices and institutions that are willing to be patient and friendly to somebody who doesn't necessarily look like a typical American, to someone who doesn't sound exactly like how an American would sound like. I would love to see more love and warmth and support to people who are struggling so hard to keep their identity while trying to make things work in this new country, a new society. There is an assumption that all immigrants and refugees choose to come to the United States. But let me tell you that this may have been the most difficult, the hardest choice that some of these people and some of us may have had to choose. People don't like to leave family and loved ones and familiar environments and careers behind and come and try and start from the scratch. But that also tells you that there's a lot of hope if you continue to be out there for people and support the stranger, give them a smile, give them a hand. That would help them go through this experience. I would also like to give some recognition to some of our immigrant and refugee family and friends who are not here in this room. My students who started learning English at the age of 74 years old. My students who speak 5 different languages but still can't get a good job because they can't speak English as well as they're expected to speak. My students who come with their babies and sit in the classroom for 2 hours studying and learning while taking care of their babies in the classroom. And for those of you who haven't been able to see as many doors open in front of them like we have had this opportunity. I would like to thank Philadelphia for being an open place for those of us who don't necessarily look exactly like the most ideal, perfect American that's expected to be, if there's such a thing. And I would like to thank the Welcoming Center for giving me an opportunity to be recognized as a multidimensional person, not just someone who speaks English well. Thank you so much.